Welcome, Bulldogs. We are so excited for another edition of Bulldog Breakdown. I say it every week, but what a privilege it is. At this point, we go, it's a privilege to be back. We have a guaranteed number during the season, but here we are, 2 weeks into the playoffs. We are 11-0.
Practicing on Thanksgiving.
We talked about that, practicing on Thanksgiving. Pray for our guys because, a lot of turkey, and then they got to play football.
That's right.
Coach, we're gonna break down a little bit of the Heritage game, and I really want to talk about Turner Ashby bringing Easton Ware again, second season. So we're gonna bring him in for the sideline spotlight. Got two games that I want, two college games that are on the radar.
I think I'm 100%.
You are 100%. It's crazy. I won't ask you about Penn State because what we know is they messed up against Ohio State and they're going to win everything else.
That's right.
They're going to be national champs. Let's just go all the way.
I feel it.
So we already know that answer right there. But he also, to be fair, you said at the beginning you cannot pick without emotion for Penn State.
No.
Yeah. I mean, why would you? So. I chose Liberty over Oregon last year, and all I'll tell you is that we won the first quarter. That was it. Hey, we're so glad that you joined us for the Bulldog Breakdown. We're going to take just a moment to look at the Maddox Power Play of the Week and how to get your tickets for this week's game.
It's time for the Maddox Power Play of the Week, brought to you by Maddox Air, Electrical and Plumbing, keeping your home running strong. Let's check out this week's big-time play. Maddox, let's get started. Early in the highly anticipated Round 2 playoff rematch between LCA and Heritage, the Bulldogs faced a critical moment. With a game still scoreless and momentum hanging in the balance, LCA's drive stalled at the Pioneer 37-yard line, leaving them with a 4th and 6. That's when senior standout James Deyo stepped in at quarterback, catching the Heritage defense completely off guard. Taking the snap, Deyo made a quick move forward and cut to his left, blowing past the line of scrimmage and into the defensive backfield. In just a few seconds, Deyo turned a pivotal 4th down gamble into the Bulldogs' first touchdown of the night. This electrifying play didn't just put points on the board, it set the tone for a dominant 35-14 victory and secured the Bulldogs a trip to the Region 3C championship game. That was your Maddox Power Play of the Week, brought to you by Maddox Air, Electrical and Plumbing. When it comes to your home, Maddox says, let's get started.
Bundle up and get ready for Friday night playoff football. The Liberty Christian Bulldogs are hosting Turner Ashby Friday night at Bulldog Stadium. Take time today to head over to GoFan and purchase your tickets. Your Bulldogs need your support Friday night. Get your tickets, bundle up, and go Dogs.
All right, everybody, that's how you get your tickets. You need to get the tickets. Let's just be real, Coach. It's going to be cold.
Not any colder than it was this past week.
No. But I'm going to teach you something right here. You layer up.
Yeah.
I wasn't cold at all.
I wasn't either.
I wasn't cold. You layer up, you come out, and if you get loud the whole game and just go crazy and wild and eat some of Andy's burgers from Benny's Bites, you'll be fine. But these guys are going to need you. Before we get into that, let's talk about the Heritage game. We just looked at the Maddox Power Play of the Week. James Deyo does so much stuff, and he's popped up a couple times on the Power Play. Tell me a little bit about how you prepared this time for Heritage versus we talked about how it's unique to prepare for somebody twice. Yeah. But I feel like that you guys capitalized on something, and I'm not sure exactly what it was, but from the beginning, it felt like you guys had the upper hand.
Yeah, I think we've talked a lot about the progression of our team and how we have found out things about some guys and have moved people around and whatever. I think we have the right formula now. We have people in the right spots and.
That's helpful. Second week in the playoffs. So
Yeah. And honestly, back the first time around, we did not.
Right.
And that's why that was such a nip and tuck game. It was that game, thank God, that we came to the realization that some changes had to be made. And ever since then, we've been tweaking and adjusting and what have you. And now we're finally settled in on what it is that we are. So I think this was a game that there was no doubt from the very beginning. The power play we talked about was our first touchdown, and we never looked back.
Right.
And we took it to them right from the get-go, and was really proud of our guys.
Yeah, what I notice about this team, and I think you can say this a lot at the beginning of the season. A lot of these young men that are the freshmen and sophomore, they're no longer that because they have an entire season under their belt, and so they are seasoned. They've been in battles. That game, it was a 34-27 game, I think. Yeah. So it ended up being about a one touchdown thing early on in the season. So they've had some tense moments. Within that, during the playoffs, are there any guys that are kind of stepping up in ways that it's exciting to see some of the younger guys?
Yeah. Well, I mean, an older guy that comes to mind is Josh Hopkins.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of our inside linebackers that is part of the little, changes and what have you that we've made. I mean, he is getting better each week. He's a very athletic inside backer. He's got good speed to the ball. So, I mean, he's really made a difference for us as well. Roman Aronson's another inside linebacker. It's only a 10th grader, and he was playing outside linebacker, and we moved him to inside backer. Again, a little bit more athletic and, tenacious, player. And those two guys have really gotten the job done for us inside. Again, you go back to TJ, the quarterback. I mean, as a freshman, each week he gets better and better. In today's world, 16, 17-year-old kids have a hard time carrying over what I learned week 1 into week 2, and then week 2 into week 3. That's one thing Tyler Jackson has been tremendous at, where we just keep building on the previous week, and he keeps getting better, and he retains what we did the week before. There's a couple of young guys that are making major impacts on this team.
I think one of the things I saw early in the game with TJ, there was a couple passes that didn't connect. It was just a little bit off, and internally I start looking and go, this guy is young. He's had a great season, but the pressure of the playoffs can sometimes be a lot. Right. And so I kind of worried, is that going to overtake him a little bit? And you just didn't really see that at all.
I mean, I think it's very natural. We talk about it very openly to our guys, about having butterflies and what that feeling should be, and, how to charge right into it and believe in yourself and have confidence in one another. Certainly he's going to have a couple butterflies. And, if you're going to come out of the gate throwing the ball a couple times early and you're still working through the butterflies, you're not quite loose yet, you may have an errant pass here or there. And that's happened, throughout the course of the season. But overall, I mean, he's been about a 70% completion guy. And, we'll take that any day.
Finish with this one, because this is something that I think we're going to be talking about through the end of the season, but I haven't really said it much. Austin Tremblay, when I first saw him catch a ball, it took me a second, because I'm like, did they just throw to a lineman? For you, what kind of a weapon is that to have somebody who has hands like that and catch it and then turn and just steamroll somebody? Yeah,
I mean, he is a big, strong kid, and he's a work in progress too. But the thing that Austin has is tremendous soft hands, and you don't have too many 265-pound guys that have that makeup, and he does. And so it'll be interesting to see how we develop him in the future, what his future position will be. Will he remain kind of a fullback tight end, or will we move him inside and be a lineman? I don't know. But we always like having a big, strong fullback tight end that can be devastating in the run game, but then also kind of snooker you out in the flat, or make it look like you're run blocking and then slip somebody in the flat. And he's been very, very good at that.
All I know is that being down on the sideline when he catches that ball, if he has the time to get his head turned around, I've watched defensive backs just crumble.
Yeah,
it takes more than one.
And what we're working with him. I mean, running the football is a skill in itself, So if you're just some big lug, maybe you got the ball out in space, you really don't know how to maneuver and utilize. he's growing in that area, and we'll continue to work with him. But you're right. I mean, 160-pound DB should just be roadkill when he comes running through there.
That's crazy. Hey, speaking of another guy, another big guy, lineman type guy, actually the lineman guy, Easton Ware had a great game. We're going to take a minute. We're going to bring him in here for the sideline spotlight. What a game he had.
Yes, he did.
Did you see that early on, that how quickly he was?
Well, we knew that, I mean, as he went, we were going to go, at the position that he plays. And he was a guy, he broke the rock for us after the game, so it was very evident to all the coaches that voted that he had a complete game. So, yeah, he's a great young man.
Hey, we're going to take a minute, invite Easton Ware to come in for the sideline spotlight. Well, Bulldog fans, we are back for Sideline Spotlight. Coach, it's second season, so we can bring somebody back. I mean, that's fair. Yeah. We brought Easton Ware back. How you doing, Easton?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How's your season?
It's going great.
Do you look at this as second season? You got to get renewed for a whole new thing?
I kind of just viewed it as like one game, regular season. Just keep looking 1 week at a time.
1 week at a time. Go 1-0 this week. All the coach speak that you got to learn and say it right. That's good. I understand that. That's great. Hey, man, congrats on 2 playoff wins. You had a huge part in this one. I'm going to sing your praises. I know you wouldn't do that, but we were down there doing the huddle stats, and I felt just about every other time that we were recording the tackle that you were hopping up after taking somebody down. Big game for you. Did you feel that early on that this was a game where you were finding the ball carrier pretty quick?
Well, yes, sir. Coach Rocco preaches all the time. It starts at nose guard because you got to get knocked back. So it really just doing your job, and it ends up doing that, especially with Heritage's offense. You're in the run game a lot, so you're just kind of in that play, and you're in the spots where you have to make the play. So it's kind of just all that pressure, and we're just finally let it out.
It felt like, at least at first, it felt like they were coming right at you. They're coming right off up the guard, that type of thing. Because I mean, they changed that after a little bit. Yeah. But did you feel like that they were testing you to see if there was any openings in the middle there? Yeah,
I think it was more of they had trust in their center and guards because it's a good team. All year really. It's been working for them, especially the past 2 games. They really come together, and they started, just clicking in all forms. So they believed in their team, and they kept doing what was working, and so ultimately we shut that down.
Now, obviously, this is a coaching question. This is a whole big team question. But just from your perspective, the outcome of this game was determined a lot earlier than the earlier season meeting. Same teams. What did you see differently this time that allowed you guys to get the upper hand so quickly?
Our team really came together this time around, and we gave effort. Early on in the season, we were all like, oh, we're good. We don't need to do this. We don't need to try. We don't need to run to the ball. We were group tackling this time. We were all hustling, giving that 110% effort and really just buying into what the coaches were saying.
It seems to me that as the season has gone on, there's been a need to move the ball down the field in different ways, not just Gideon putting the ball down the field. Coach and I talk a lot about Tyler Jackson and what being somebody that protects him as a lineman, you have to have a lot of trust that he's going to do the right thing. How has that grown this year for you in watching him play?
Well, in the summer, and I heard we're bringing up a freshman, taking reps at starting quarterback. I'm like, well, this is a little weird. But, over time, I'm friends with his brother, so I know his brother is a freak athlete. He's probably the most athletic kid in my grade. So I knew he was coming from a family of athletes. So I knew he was going to be a playmaker, but I know about his decisions, how he's going to throw, all that. And then, as the weeks came along, he's a solid guy. He can play. He's getting us wins, getting us big throws, getting us touchdowns. So, he's building trust with us, and we're building trust with him. Him being comfortable, sitting in the pocket, not trying to scramble out, and him trusting us too.
Earlier, a few weeks back, we had Andre Kendrick on the show, and he had a lot to say about you guys, but he said something about Coach that made you laugh. I don't know if you remember this. He talked about playoff Coach. He played playoff Rocco and second half Rocco. That there's a difference in as the season goes along. How do you see Coach Rocco first half to second half and regular season playoff? Is there a different demeanor in each of those halves?
I mean,
He's sitting right there too.
It really depends on how well of a first half we had.
Okay.
Because coming into Heritage, we were doing good. We were like doing our jobs, but we could ultimately be better. We always can be. But then if you go to a team that, say, Salem the first week, and we were playing horrible, he's going to be a lot more, we got to fix this, a lot more like stern, like, hey, do this better, like call you out. But when playing a team and we're clicking on all cylinders, it's a lot more of just keeping like praising, uplifting, saying, hey, keep doing this, we're doing great, just keep going. And then play calling wise, you're going to be a little more aggressive if you're down. But ultimately, I think, still a great coach either way.
Coach, before and after, sideline spotlight, we always talk about players. I like talking about sometime with them here.
Yeah.
Talk about Easton's preparation for games and how you see him leading this team in that.
I tell him often out on the practice field how proud I am of him. And, let's face it. He's a Division I football player. He's going on to play Clemson in a couple of weeks, and he's not going to be an LCA Bulldog anymore. So, I don't know many guys that are in his situation that will continue to fight till the end being an LCA Bulldog and not kind of, I'm this big cheese, I'm this guy that's going to Division I, and I'm going to kind of cruise to the finish line. Every little drill that we do, if there's someone that's stepping up leading, it's this guy right here. And I'm so happy to have had an opportunity to coach him. But obviously we hopefully have a couple more weeks left that he will be an LCA Bulldog, and I have full expectation and full confidence that he's going to be the same Easton Ware as he was as a ninth grader coming into the program and growing as an athlete that he was, that he will be in hopefully another week, another 2 weeks, maybe another 3 weeks before he moves off to Clemson. So he's just been a pure joy to coach, an honor.
Easton, it's cool to hear a coach say that kind of thing about you, and we all feel that way about you. My question to you, and we'll end with this. You've had a great high school career, and it's crazy to think that not too long you're going to be on campus, and it's going to be fun to watch. But every guy wants to leave their high school with some sort of legacy, with having made a difference here. For you, what do you hope, as you go away, what do you hope that people remember about you on this team and in this school?
It's really like, I came in, Coach Rob was talking about freshman Easton, and you compare me now to freshman me, and you wouldn't think they're the same person. I came in like 6'2", 310. I couldn't bench 135. Like it was, coming in like, he's Carson. Someone on our team said, he's a waste of size because I couldn't do anything.
Wow.
And I just want them to know, like, you come, you do listen to Coach Rocco, do the lifts, listen to your position coaches. They know what they're talking about, and they'll make you a great player. It's not about going to this camp, spending all this money. I went to camps, but it was more to get my name out there. I was doing what the coaches taught me. So you got to balance it out. It's good to go to camps and, get recognition, but it's about doing the little things and listen to your coaches. They've been doing this for a long time. They know what they're doing. So just listen to your coaches, and they're going to make you to a great player. And you just got to put that work in every day. Just come in, same effort, same consistency. Not, I'm going to do good today, but I'm going to take the next day off. So come in every day, and the coaches are going to push you to be a better person. And ultimately, if you want to go D1, D2, D3, anything above high school is a great thing to do. The coaches are going to get you there.
You heard it. It's hard to argue when you got a guy that's going to go play at one of the elite programs in the country. We're excited for you. We're excited to watch you. I believe that you're going to represent not only this school well, but the Lord himself. And I'm excited to see how he uses it. Congrats.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Bulldog fans. Easton Ware, I love sitting and talking with that guy. It's hard to believe that, like you said, in just a few weeks, he's going to be on campus at Clemson University preparing to be in one of the biggest stadiums and biggest spotlights in the country.
I think I may be holding on to his ankle while he's going. He's going to have to drag me along because I'm going to try to keep him here. But, yeah, that's a harsh reality of seniors moving on for sure.
It always is. It surprises me, too, that when you got guys like him, and then of course Gideon and some of these, I looked at that wall of posters that we have, just guys that have been stalwarts in our program, and you go, what are we going to do without those guys? But we do that every year.
Yeah, we did. I felt the same way about last year's class too. You know, and God is good, and our guys that move on up. You take JV kids that they're eventually going to get their shot, and they take advantage of the opportunity. So
you just find those guys that the moment isn't too big for them, and they become the next lead dog, and that's kind of cool. Hey, Coach, there's something that you and I were talking pre-recording here, just really about what it's like to be on the sideline versus in the stands, speed of the game. For those that don't, that like just to sit and be on the, well, they got to sit in the stands. What is the difference? Like when you're watching on TV or when you're watching in the stands, how much quicker is the game than what people are seeing? Because a lot of times they'll see a play develop and they'll wonder how somebody didn't see that, and how much faster is the game when you're right down there?
Yeah, I mean it's a fast game and it's a violent game, you know, and there's a lot that happens on the field that maybe you don't notice just in the naked, to the naked eye. You know, it's funny. That discussion takes me back to a memory I had, and I can remember like it was yesterday. I was playing high school football quarterback, and my younger brother, Dan, who was the coach at Liberty here for a bunch of years, was our tailback. And he was a sophomore, I believe, and I was a junior. I was 1 year ahead of him. And I'll never forget the first time I turned, handed the ball off to him, carried out a fake, and then turned and watched him go into the defense, and the defense just collapsed on him and just bam, bam, bam with shots and physicality, you know. And I was like, man, that's my little brother that's going up into that violent.
You just sent him to the wolves.
Yeah. And like the physicality that happens on the field is real, you know, and but that's why the training is so important. That's why the coaching of the precision of the game, so that you put yourself in the right position, body positioning and putting yourself in the perfect position to take on tackles or take on blocks. When you get out of position is when injuries happen. You know, you're reaching and you hurt a shoulder. You're standing too tall and your ankles get rolled or whatever. You know, so you always want to be in an athletic position, but. Yeah, it's fast, it's physical, and I think that's what makes it so beautiful, though. And
I agree. And for me, we talk about how does Gideon break free? You know, when he's breaking through the line. That to me is what's impressive. Is the guys that he faces week in and week out. It's not that they're bad football players. There are some great football players that we've seen and opposed. But that just is a demonstration of just kind of who we have on this team, and the speed is just fantastic. I also look at you look at some of the basketball games. I remember the first time I'm 6'5". I feel like I'm a tall guy. When I go to the playground to play ball, everybody wants me to play center. First time I ever walked down next to an NBA court, it's a different thing because I'm the tiny guy down there. It's crazy. Let's finish out. Let's talk about our upcoming opponent. Thanksgiving week. We're thankful to play, but we've got a game to play. We're playing Turner Ashby. We've faced them before. Faced them last year in the playoffs. It turned out to be a kind of a lopsided win for us. As you're looking at the film this year. Are we seeing an improved Turner Ashby team coming down?
Absolutely. I mean, they have had two elite high school football athletes that have kind of been the nucleus of their program from freshman to sophomore to junior. Now they're both seniors. Then they add the top running back from Stanton High School, which is just down the road from Turner Ashby. So now they have a third. All three of them are 6'1", 6'2", 210, 215, 220. So they're like perfect football specimens. And one is number 1 on his jersey, one is number 2 on his jersey, and one is number 3. So we've got to stop number 1, number 2, number 3. They both play both ways. So they're running backs, they're receivers on offense. On defense, they're outside linebackers, they're safeties. So they are really, you'll see on Friday, but they are 3 elite high school football players. The rest of the team is well coached. They do basically almost offensively 2 different systems. They're spread, get the ball in space to these athletes, or they're packing it in and just trying to pound you. So you got to really have 2 mindsets against these guys. But it will be a challenge, and we're looking forward to it. Our guys have done a great job week in and week out adapting to new systems to defend. And it's a challenge. It's fun. If you were playing the same kind of football game every single week, it would get old pretty quickly. But each week we're having to, train the guys in a different way of thinking and different way of pursuing the ball. And, I have full confidence that our guys will show up and hopefully by Friday, we're taping today on Tuesday, things will keep getting better each day, and I think we'll be ready to go by Friday.
So I'm curious, after the game gets over on a Friday night, stats are uploaded, video is uploaded. You guys, when do you start at work preparing for the next team?
Yeah, well, I think our coaching staff basically all has their own timeline. We meet as a coaching staff, a total staff, on Sunday evening. Myself, I'm the offensive coordinator, and then Tyler Meeks and Kent Nesselrode are more on the defensive side, and I oversee that a little bit too with film breakdown and whatever. But we're all responsible for watching the video, grading our game from our own game from Friday night, and then going ahead on our opponent, whether it's into Saturday, all day Saturday, breaking film down and then working through Sunday. There's a lot of coaching staffs that may come into the building and all work, in the facility. I've never been that way. I wanted to be home with my family. So I would work, in my office at home and be around the kids and be able to come in and out. And all of our coaches have families. So to bring everybody into the school and meet for 4 hours never made a whole lot of sense to me. So just trust them to get their work done. And then when we get together Sunday night, everybody gives a report, and then we start putting together a game plan.
So what you're saying is that you get no rest until mid-December.
Yeah, it's a grind. It is an absolute grind. There's no doubt about it.
Well, it is going to be a cold game. It's going to be an exciting one. Like we said, when we played Broadway, it's kind of neat sometimes, like you said, to see teams come in that you're not familiar with them, and for us as fans, it's something to come and watch our guys do their thing against a team that they're not familiar with. Right. Every week you get an opportunity to see different guys step up and make plays. This is going to be an exciting one. I don't think we need to belabor the point of y'all need to come out.
Right.
You should come out and hang out. Final thing, and this is of the utmost importance to me, Coach.
Okay.
Andy and I try and perfect our burgers. Are you a burger guy? Do you like burgers?
Total sidebar. With my health condition right now,
man,
I can't eat red meat because it does something to my red blood cells or whatever. So I'm become more of a chicken and fish guy, which I don't want to be. I've always been a.
So what kind of fish has been? Were you a fish guy before? Or?
No, not too much. Only when you go down to the beach.
Okay, right.
But more chicken, I guess, right now, and eating a lot of pasta.
All right, well then that's fair. We'll jump to chicken then.
Okay.
If there's anything that makes chicken better, like whether it's nacho cheese or some kind of seasoning, what's your favorite way for chicken to be prepared? Because it can be a wide variety.
Yeah, I like a good barbecue sauce, like a honey barbecue, kind of a sweet, what do you call it, sweet baby
Rays.
Baby Rays.
Yes.
Sweet baby Rays, yeah.
Yeah. I like barbecue chicken. Grilled chicken with barbecue glaze on it. It's good. I must be hungry. So
I am.
Well, friends, that has been the Bulldog Breakdown. We've got a big game this weekend, and it is not complete unless you are there. So make sure that you go to GoFan, get your tickets so that you don't have to stand in line, go find your spot, and get loud. Get loud on third downs, cheer on the guys from first quarter to last quarter, but especially that fourth quarter. And encourage them. And whether they're up by a lot or it's a tight game, they genuinely appreciate you being there.
This is the Region 3C championship game. We haven't even mentioned that yet.
That's right.
So I challenged the guys at JF that in 5 weeks we would have an opportunity to win 3 championships.
The Seminole,
which we won that night outright against JF. Now 3 weeks later, Region 3C championship. Right. If we can pull this off, then it'll be 2 more weeks for the state championship.
So this technically is the game to get us into the state finals.
Correct.
So
state semis.
State semis. Yeah. So big one, because this is a championship game.
Yes.
So we need you guys to be there to get loud and to support the Bulldogs. Coach, got anything else?
No, thank you. Appreciate it.
You know how it is. Go Dogs.